2018 Jeep Cherokee rear brakes replacement. I'm doing rear pads and rotors. First thing, this caliper has these little caliper bolt covers you got to pop off with a flathead. These are just in there to protect from like weather and snow and all that. And inside of there is a we'll put these to the side here. Inside of there is a hex bolt, as you see here. And we'll go ahead and get in there and start undoing these. Now the top one's not too bad to get to, and you should see the whole bolt spinning like that. And the bottom one's a little tight though. I'll show you in a sec. Whenever you get these out, they'll just kind of keep spinning. And what I do is I gently take a flathead and just kind of push them all the way out. Careful not to mess the threads up. On the bottom, because of the control arm, I had to put my socket in, and there wasn't enough room for my ratchet. So what I do is I get a wrench and I just pull this out enough, and then I use my wrench to kind of turn it. My 8mm wrench fitted on this perfect actually. So hopefully your tools, you can do something similar, or if you have something smaller that could fit in here. And then once this got loose enough, I could just push it away with my flathead and not have anything back out into that control arm. So go ahead. Once I got loose enough, I could just use my fingers too. So I was able to use my fingers and just gently pop this away. Don't get your ratchet stuck between the control arm and the bolt. That'd be really annoying. So that's just how I did it. Now the front little spring, how I get these off, you could just push down in here with the flathead, push straight down, and then use your other hand with the flathead to push the spring off. There's multiple ways to get these off. That's just the way I do it. So I use this to push down in that hole, and then I'll use the other flathead to just pry it off, because when you push down in there, it releases the tension. So yeah, I did it kind of off camera, sorry guys, I only got one hand on here. But yeah, you push this down, and then while that's down, you could kind of pull the spring out, and it comes out. All right, so once you got that off and the caliper bolt's pushed out, you should be able to wiggle this off. Just kind of wiggle and pull it back. The inner pad will stay with the caliper because it has little prong teeth that are in the piston. I'll show you what I mean in a couple minutes. You can just pull this pad out, and I'm doing pads and rotors. As you can see, this pad got a little low. And then you could skip ahead if you're not doing your rotor, but you can just put your pads in. But I gotta take this caliper bracket off, and it's this bolt here and this bolt here. It's 18mm. Go ahead and use my 18mm wrench here to get this off. Nothing too tricky with these bolts. They could just be a little tight. And depending if you're in a driveway or not, they could be a little awkward because you have to use a little bit of strength to get them loose. Okay, I got that out. Get my top one out here, and then obviously don't let the caliper drop. Hold it, and put it safely to the side, out of the way. Save all the bolts, the springs, the caliper bracket, all that stuff. We're going to reuse it. So your rotor, if you're going to take it off, it has this little plastic or rubber O-ring. Right here, this is a thing that Dodges and Jeeps do. They have this little O-ring. I don't know if it's for assembly or what, but you can just get this off. If you want to put it back on, you're going to want to be careful taking it off because they rip real easy. So I just used the pick that I had, and then I was able just to kind of wiggle and slide this off. All right, and then there's our emergency brake pads assembly. And if you're curious, these are the specs. This is where they are on the rotor. So they're inside the drum. It'll tell you the max diameter for the inside drum, and then I believe the rotor thickness itself. Got my new ones here. These are from aftermarket place, Brake Best Select. They're actually not bad. I clean them with brake cleaner and get any packaging grease or packaging glue off of the rotor so it's nice and clean. Match them up, because you never know with these parts, guys. So my rotors, it looks good. It's matched up. I cleaned it. I'm ready to put it on. Sometimes they just have some weird, stuff on them. I don't know, from packaging or what, but I'm gonna get myself some sandpaper here, some 3M, and just gently clean the emergency brake pads, because sometimes these get dust buildup, and it could affect the e-brake if there's a lot of dust buildup, and it can also cause brake noise. So just you know, what I do is I just kind of you know, get those cleaned up, spray down some brake clean so it doesn't make any noise when they're rolling or nothing. Here's my new rotor. Go and put my new rotor on as well with my new O-ring. All right, and I'll put my bracket back on. It's the 18 millimeter bolts that we took off earlier. Go ahead and get these on. And I'll put torque specs in the description box or the comments somewhere. All right. So now we need to compress the piston. I got my tool that this pushes the brake piston in on the caliper, so then it'll have room to go over the new pads. Just go ahead and do that. Push it in with a tool. If you don't have a tool, there's Google ways to do it. There's ways to do it without an actual automotive tool. Here's my brake pads. These are from the dealer. This is a part number. And these look right. No problems there. Go ahead and this just goes in. These little prong fingers go in the caliper piston. So this will go in, and that kind of holds it in place. And you could throw a little bit of brake lube on the ends of the pad if you want. If you like to do that. Some people do, some people don't. So put my new one up front like that. The one without prongs goes on the outside. And then we'll go ahead and bring this down. Now when you're putting this back on, make sure your brake line isn't twisted. Sometimes guys, they like twist the brake line and then they put it on, and then you cause brake issues. Once those are in, we're gonna push these little caliper pins in and screw them in. Be careful, be patient with this part, screwing these back in, because I've seen guys strip these out. They're not that strong, and they strip out, and then you got a whole nother headache to go and deal with. So just be careful, be patient with this part, getting them back in. Make sure they're lined up perfect and straight, and then, you know, get them in. If it's not working right, figure out what's going on, or just keep trying different ways. Can't stress that enough. I don't want to see you guys strip out nothing. All right, so once you get those tight, again, I'll put torque specs in the video description or something. I'll put these caps on. Again, these are to protect it from weather and stuff, especially if you're in like the East Coast or the Midwest. This just helps it not get all rusted out in there. And then we'll put our spring on. What I do is I put the top part on in that hole first, and don't drop it. So I put this on first, and again, I only have one hand, but once I have that on, then I'll go to the bottom and just do the same thing. I'll put the bottom in. Sometimes you got to wrestle these in a bit, but it shouldn't be like a huge wrestling match, so don't hurt yourself or stab yourself trying to put those in. And then once that's in, it should hold. You could kind of give it a tap with a rubber mallet just to make sure it's in, because it is kind of like a Looney Tunes design. But that's it, guys. Hope this helps somebody out there. And just so you know, the front is kind of the same, but you'll need to buy an 11 millimeter hex socket for the front caliper bolts, the little pins.